back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got Todd Randolph on, and Todd's with us. He's involved with a company called USI. We're doing a lot of programming here in the weeks to come that deals with the problem of businesses and healthcare reform, and they use that word reform so loosely, don't they? But but we're also interested in talking to people who are involved in business in general, which has led to us having our guest today. But before we introduce our guest, who's a very good friend of mine, someone I've known for quite a while, and is one of the most I think powerful tactical leaders when it comes to helping small businesses in the Houston area. I want Todd to tell us a little more about USI. Welcome, Todd.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you. Well, USI, we are local, actually national insurance services advisory firm with a large local presence here in Houston. We have a specific focus on property and casualty, employee benefits, 401k. My specific area of focus is on employee benefits and helping employers not only control their costs, but engage their employees, create some level of focus for them, and help them improve their bottom line.
Yeah, very good. And introduce our guests.
This is Jeannie Bollinger with the, I was about to say Katie, Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Not Katie yet. But Jeannie, I've known now for well over a decade, and a phenomenal leader. One of the most, I would say, one of the most influential in terms of the neighborhood chambers here in the Houston area. And you recently had some really big news happen in terms of your relationship with one of the other chambers. Talk about that.
We did indeed. We found ourselves in a very fortunate position to be able to onboard the members of the Galleria Area Chamber of Commerce. And so we have recently brought over almost 240 Galleria Area Chamber businesses into the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. So we're very, very excited to have their membership. We're reaching out to them now, getting to know them, trying to find out what services they want in their area and how we can help businesses grow.
Yeah, so what happens to the Galleria Chamber? The
Galleria Chamber itself will cease to exist. Mm-hmm. And all the members are now members of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Wow, well, that's really cool. And that's obviously very beneficial for both them and you.
Well, we had a lot of mutual members in both areas. And so it expands our service area, but it also expands their networking opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Todd, you have a question?
Certainly. When it comes to the current membership, and certainly it's going to be something you expand to the Galleria membership as well, what are you hearing currently from your constituents in regards to healthcare and insurance in general?
Just this past Friday, we had our annual Health and Wellness Luncheon at Lakeside Country Club, featuring two very important doctors, one from Sugarland, Dr. Shell, and also Dr. Jeffrey Brown. I mean, healthcare is hugely important to small business owners. I think everyone knows that, and we're all very scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so specifically, what's been the sentiment of your members that you're hearing? Obviously, you're saying that, I loved your analogy. I thought it was very eloquent. But when you sit there and you talk to people, are they talking about making dramatic changes in the way they do healthcare, or are they talking about changing the way they hire employees? I mean, what's the range of things you're hearing?
I think it's exactly that. They don't know what to do. There's so many options out there. We don't know what our federal government is going to do. Even the chamber, we're a small business. And I only have, I have less than 10 employees. And what are we going to do for our own employees?
Right.
What's good for them? And so we're having to investigate it just like any other business in Houston. It is a very scary time for business.
Yeah.
It's a huge cost.
Yeah, and you say all these institutions and businesses don't know what the government's going to do. The government doesn't apparently know what it's going to do.
I think that is the biggest problem.
Well, we're not going to make you do that now. We're going to do it the next election cycle because we'd like to have Democrats controlling both houses of Congress, basically is what he's saying. And after that happens, it's not going to be any more practical to do it the next election cycle because there's a good chance there'll be a Republican who's in the White House after that. So it gets crazier and crazier. And Todd, you're dealing a lot tactically with these business owners and the work you're doing. What do you hear?
Well, and we see, I think to your point, we deal with all types of business as well, just like the chamber does. And so every business, according to their needs, restaurants are completely different than a huge oil and gas company. I guess a question to you is, when we look at the oil and gas companies, they tend to offer some pretty strong benefits, and so it's a very competitive environment. Employees want to be in a place where they get good benefits on top of their salary, and so there's some attrition from one company to another in some instances. What are you seeing from some of the members? What are you hearing from them in that regard? Is that a concern for them?
It's a huge concern. It's a huge concern right now at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. We're trying to hire a new employee, and I'm having to go through, do you have health insurance? And right now we are not offering it. So what are we going to do as a very, very small business owner? I mean, we're in the same boat as everyone else, and we're being asked the same questions. One nice thing I do like is I do think we're paying more attention to lifestyle changes.
Yes, that's true.
That's the good news.
We got to figure out how to take care of ourselves because we don't trust the government to be able to do that. So let me ask you, and we're running out of time, what is the number of companies that you have that are kind of mid-market or larger?
Probably about 40% of the members of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce are the mid-market to larger
Is
companies.
Galleria similar that you're
Yes,
acquiring?
that's pretty typical of all area chambers of
50
commerce.
or more employees.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. And I do want to make sure people know how to reach that chamber, hwcoc.org. That's hwcoc.org. And, of course, why don't you give your website over there, Todd, for USI?
USI is www.usi.biz, B-I-Z.
Yeah. For some reason, I always mess that up. So we'll let Todd get those 3 letters out with the .biz at the end that I somehow always mess that up. USI.biz. We're going to have more programming in the weeks to come, focusing specifically on healthcare and businesses. And again, congratulations to the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, which now almost doubled in size overnight thanks to the combined efforts with Galleria. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you so much. We're very, very excited to have the Galleria area businesses now part of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
How long was that in the works?
It's been in the works probably for about 9 months.
9 months. Yeah. These things don't happen quickly, but they're good when they do happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. You're listening to The Price of Business.